Being a volunteer firefighter is one of the most difficult and thankless jobs out there. And three of the struggles that almost all volunteer departments face are recruitment, retention, and attendance. This video comes from the Franklin Township Fire District, and I will put a link to the original video in the description below, and be sure to go watch that because the video in its entirety is a great example of how quickly fire can spread through lightweight construction.
Lightweight, baby!
But just to do a quick size up here, you see a 2-story single-family residential fire. Most of the fire is obviously contained on the second floor in the attic. There's no real exposures to speak of. You do see a couple cars in the driveway, but they don't really seem like they're in that much danger or should be that much of a concern right now. There's no real power lines. It's set back pretty far from the road, but correct me if I'm wrong, electrical experts, I believe I saw a pad-mounted transformer in the front yard. So that means the power lines are going to be underground. But this is your standard Type 5 lightweight construction. Now, as you can see, the roof on the right side of the house has been completely burned through, which means it is probably structurally compromised. And this is something that you should be aware of if you're a firefighter with homes in your district that are lightweight construction. Because once this happens, the possibility of collapse becomes much greater. And if you're interested, I've put a link to a resource below that goes over the different types of building construction and just gives you the general overview and the pros and cons of each. So they got their lines pulled and they're beginning to get water on the fire. But what I really want to point out is how quickly this fire has spread. Keep in mind at this point, we're only about 2 minutes in from the first trucks arriving on scene, and part of the right side of the roof has already collapsed. Now in a situation like this, your best bet would be to get a better angle of attack and get water over the fire. Right now, they're in the process of getting the ladder set up, so that's exactly what they're setting out to do, and I think that's the right move for a fire like this, because getting above the fire and spraying water down will be far more effective than anything you can do with hand lines from the ground. But all in all, I think they're doing a great job getting lines pulled, getting set up, and getting ready to put water on the fire. And there's only one thing more important than getting water on the fire quickly, and that's getting to the fire quickly, which is why you should check out Active 911. Active 911 was created by a volunteer firefighter for first responders because they know exactly how hard it is to have a coordinated response. With Active 911, there's no need to carry around clunky pagers or radios. The alerts come directly to your phone and even come with built-in navigation so you know exactly where you're going. It comes packed with useful features like a built-in chat feature so you could set up trainings, the ability to store pre-plans or mark hydrants, and the best part of all is it's fireman-proof, which means that even Neanderthals like us probably won't break it. I'll put a link in the description below. Check out Active 911 and never miss a call again. So at this point, they got the ladder in service and they've knocked down the bulk of this fire. But what you may not realize is each one of the departments that responded to this were volunteer fire departments. And when I saw the size of the turnout for a structure fire like this, I was so impressed. Because to see this many volunteers show up for a structure fire goes to show how dedicated they are to their job. And for those that may be wondering why they see so many firefighters standing out front, the reason is because they went defensive on this fire, which means they pull everyone out of the structure, they put water on it from the outside, and then once the majority of the fire is knocked down, they'll send crews back in to do overhaul and hit the hot spots. But I mentioned earlier that one of the biggest struggles for volunteer departments is attendance, and this is exactly what I'm talking about because there are so many departments out there that are lucky to have a full engine crew in the initial response. So I wanted to give props to these departments and these firefighters because seeing this kind of dedication to the job is awesome.